Man, that was a pain. I got one more sheet to go to finish this up, and let me kind of try to turn this, maybe, just to give you an idea of what it's looking like. Now, granted, I only have a few of them stained right there. Those guys are stained. It's hard to, it's backwards. I'm looking at it backwards from what you see, so it's hard to point at the camera, but you can see which ones are slightly different color. Those have already been stained. I just haven't had time to come out here because I'm losing daylight very quickly, and so the amount of time I can spend out here is very little. So I'm just gonna put it up. It's not ideal, it's not what I wanted, but I'll put it up. Maybe I'll do this wall, maybe try to stain it upright, see how it works out. I'm probably gonna hate it. If I do, then the rest of the other 3 walls, I'll stain the boards before I cut them. Overall, it's looking good. Now, granted, it looks like a bunch of plywood right now. Trust me, I'm aware. I still need to put in the battens to really kind of give it the look that I'm going for, and also I need to trim it all out. I did go ahead, let me get you a little closer to show you what I did here. Before I cover it up, I just wanted to show you this Z channel that I put in, and I just tacked it in with a couple of roofing nails, and that'll hold while I go ahead and put all the trim and the siding up on all of it. And I went ahead and did that down the entire stretch, and I plan to do it down the remainder of the walls as well whenever I get a chance. I have a little gap here between the Z channel and the siding above, and the reason why I did that is in case any moisture got in behind and ran down the siding, I didn't want that moisture to land on the end grain that is this bottom piece of plywood. Likewise, if there's rain, driving rain that's coming here, I didn't want to have a gap here allowing that end grain to get constantly wet every single time it rains. So now the rain will come in here and run right off and keep on going. Any water that happens to fall into this crack is going to have an 1/8 inch gap, giving it the opportunity to run back out without ever touching this board. Now, this is really just insurance, because the reality is that I have this entire 3/4 inch gap across this entire space. So all of this wood is basically free floating. It's not touching anything except for these furring strips. So there's giant gaps just like this. That's all free space, allowing that moisture to run all the way down and out the bottom. My real hope with this approach is that I'm using a material that's probably not really meant to be, you know, fortified exterior grade material, but between the staining, between the air gap, plenty of opportunity to dry, and the rain screen and the Z channel and all of this stuff, I'm hoping to get quite a few years out of this. And I may or may not have mentioned it, but the cost of this is significantly cheaper than trying to do some sort of, you know, vinyl siding, which vinyl siding, it's okay. I'm not really trying to make this look like a garage. I want it to look more like a barn. Cladding this with true cedar boards would have been insanely expensive. So this really was my next option. I could have done maybe like hardy board or something. It still would have leaned more into the garage look, not the barn look. And even if I did go that route, hardy board is incredibly expensive. That's like 3 times the cost of vinyl siding, and vinyl siding is about 2 or 3 times the cost of this. So, you know, you can do the math on what it would have cost to do hardy board on this. I'm okay with this. If it lasts, 10 years, then I will have gotten my money out of it. So let's hope, right? We can hope. And if it doesn't work, I'll slap some vinyl siding on it. So right now I realize it looks like a bunch of sheets of plywood. My hope is to get some sort of boards. Now this is a little bit thinner than I'm going to use here. I'm actually going to go for possibly something closer to about a 3-inch, not a 2-inch. So this is just an example. But if you can imagine multiple strips running across each one of these, then that's going to give me that opportunity to get that board and batten sort of barn style look that I'm really going for. I know it's kind of hard to see right now, but we'll get there. You'll see it one way or another. If it takes until I'm actually done with it to see it, then I'm okay with that, as long as you stick around. Hit the like button, subscribe, tell your friends, costs you nothing. And always, you guys, be good. I think I'm going to leave you here. I'll see you on the next one.